crazy mother...
This is gameplay for Black Control. If you haven't seen the deck tech, up in the top corner there is a link. Otherwise, let's get into the action.
Starting the game here, I have a really strong opening hand, so I'm going to keep this. I am on the draw, and our opponent also playing black, but it looks like they are passing their turn. Our turn, we're going to throw down a swamp and Inquisition our opponent, see what they got. Okay, our opponent's playing something interesting. I think we just get rid of the creature. We do have creature removal in here. So, yeah. I'm not sure if that was the right choice. Opponent plays an island, passes turn. We can remove the island from the land we saw. I'm just gonna hold up on Gatekeeper, so I think we're just gonna Inquisition our opponent one more time. Flash spells, okay, so he's gonna play the creature that we would have taken instead. That's fine, it's okay, we're just gonna cast down it next turn anyways. Let's get rid of the Shadow's Doubt. Okay, opponent swings to face, passes turn. Kitesail, that's fun. We can get rid of this guy. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna Kitesail. So he's actually gonna cast the spell that gives it -X straight away. The ability will still resolve, just we give the card back at the same time. Which is fine, we're still just gonna look at our opponent's hand, and it got rid of a spell. So he has Fallen Shinobi. So he's playing the ninjas deck. That makes a lot of sense. And he needs 4 mana. Okay, so he's gonna bring in Shinobi next turn. If I would have known that, I would have actually kept cast down. For those who don't know, Fallen Shinobi is whenever Fallen Shinobi deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of their top 2 cards of the library. Until end of turn, you may play those cards without paying their mana cost. Now, that is relevant because he's going to swing with this creature, and then Fallen Shinobi also has ninjutsu, which means you can swap out the creature that's attacking. That's kind of fun. He's kind of playing a budget janky deck as well. So Shinobi obviously comes into play, and he gets to exile them, and we don't. Oh, that's funny. It's Swamp and Inquisition. So he can play Inquisition without things. So he's going to grab something. He's probably going to grab Cast Down, actually. That being said, if I draw into a land, we can Gatekeeper, make him sacrifice Fallen Shinobi, especially seeing how he's tapped out. So, no, our opponent takes Gatekeeper. So we're going to play the Swamp. We play Cast Down while he's tapped out. Alright, shift it to our opponent's turn. Okay, opponent plays an island, passes back to our turn. Okay, well, time to play a swamp, time to play Dreaded Presence. Okay, pass it. Opponent decides to pass the turn. Okay. May as well go to combat. So he's just going to play Visor. When it enters battlefield, you may return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand, so he's going to return Dread Presence to our hand. I think we played the Dread Presence because I have 2 of them. Our opponent is definitely playing a budget deck, which is funny. So we take down Visor. And if he has a way of dealing 1 damage to this thing or giving it -1, Fatal Push. So run down Dread Presence again. I wish I had a Swamp. Would be great, but I don't. Opponent playing his last card. This lady, Flash. Yeah, we can easily block that. And our opponent is now playing the top deck game. Bitter Blossom is a really good card for them to draw. Wow, okay. So Bitter Blossom, for those who don't know, it is at the beginning of your upkeep, lose 1 life, put a 1/1 flying fairy token into play. If I ever draw into a swamp though, I can ping this thing, which makes him sacrifice enchantments. Swing in with Dread Presence. We then play Vampire Nighthawk, because we need to be able to block flyers, even though he won't have a turn. He gets his Fairy Rogue, and it looks like our opponent is passing turn. Murderous Rider. I think we just go to combat, and we aim to play Kitesail after he gets his fairy. He also may very well have another push in hand, or Venzir, or whatever, and he wants to return Vampire Nighthawk to my hand. Does he like double or triple block? We're gonna find out. Single, once again, and see what our opponent does. I really just want another land at this point. That's all I want, okay. Opponent passing turn back to us. We are going to get there's the swamp we wanted. Go opponent's face. And then we are going to play this guy. So he's gonna sacrifice Bitter Blossom, he's gonna sacrifice the Fairy Rogue. And I draw a card, and then we go to combat, and so we are the aggro deck. He's gonna double block. Again, we're winning with gaining life from this guy, so may as well go to combat. Attack with Vampire Nighthawk. I'm doing it on my turn because then it forces him to have to actually respond with something. I mean, realistically, I could have saved it till his turn. It is a thing I could have done. Swift end this guy away. We can play our Murderous Rider later if we want. And then it is our turn. Go to combat. We attacking. The slow, painful death of our opponent. And I passed through my turn. I should have actually played Kitesail, but I didn't. Kitesail is one of those cards that's like, some decks it goes against it's good value, I find. Other decks, it is lacking. Okay, so let us play Kitesail, force him to respond if he has something in his hand, or we just get to see what's in his hand. It is a island. And now we're just playing the waiting game. Slow grind. As well, we're going to just straight up cast Gatekeeper, just so we have more aggro and on play. Attack with everything, go. Opponent plays something big. All the mana. Okay, so our opponent wants to blow up that guy. So in response to him trying to gain 8 life, we are going to kill our own creature and gain the life from it instead. Essentially means that he needs responses, and then we are going to run out these guys. I guess I could have also played, I should make this bigger, so you and I all remember that I do have Murderous Rider in my exile zone that I can play. So if our opponent has response, he does not, we go to sideboard. Okay, I'm going to take out these things, we're going to put these things in and see how it goes. Don't like this hand, but I will keep it because it's not terrible, it's just not amazing. It has creature removal. Blast Zone's actually really going to be probably pretty nice against this deck. Bitter Blossom. I did put in an extra enchantment removal, so we hopefully will draw into that. Because Bitter Blossom can get out of control real fast. So he reveals his hand. Now we either get rid of this guy or this guy, exile target creature you control, then return into the battlefield under its owner's control as a spirit with 1/1. I think that goes away. My turn. Do I play Blast Zone now and tick it up? I think the answer is yes. And we are going to attack him with Kitesail to see if he bounces it to my hand. Oh no, he's going to use the one that gives him -2/2. Bitter Blossom gets his fairy, takes his damage. Yield it to end step, he's obviously going to attack in. Put a charge counter. We play Kitesail and see if we can't tease out Spell Shudder Sprite. Cancels my Freebooter. We'll play another Kitesail. Oh, that's a funny little interaction. I didn't even notice that. So exile dark creature, then return to play. So when this enters play, he can then counter again. So he's going to counter my next one, which, funny and annoying. Interesting. So the Sailor, essentially a mana dump to draw cards. So I have a clock, not a huge clock, but a clock. See if he has anything to counter that. So I had to completely change my plan because I forgot that Blast Zone is 3 and tap, not 2 and tap. See, that's my issue with not having played Magic in 3 years. Right there. Alright, so we play Murderous Rider. He's going to give us lifelink, so we're going to start swinging with him every turn. Ideally, I should have not played that. I should have Blast Zoned to blow up the guy, because now he has 4 fairies that are all flying, attacking with our Murderous Rider. And he's going to return this guy to our hand. Now we'll Blast Zone to get rid of Spell Shudder Sprite and Bitter Blossom. Okay, and there, Brazen Borrow. Brazen Borrow is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so my clock is actually much shorter than I expected it to be. So we're going to blow up the fairy that is a 3/1 flyer. We then pass to our opponent's turn. So we'll let our opponent think that he's going to attack in for everything. Choose a fairy. So we're casting it for 3. So he pulled the same trick I did. There are many things I can draw. That is not one of them. Okay. Go to sideboard. Okay, so putting in the Ratchet Bombs, taking out Dreaded Presence, and Sudden Edict. And yes, we are definitely going to play first. And no, we are not going to keep this opening hand. It has removal and late game. Ugh. Actually not a great hand either, but I don't want to go down farther. We play the Swampy. Okay, opponent plays the island, passes it to us. We get an Inquisition. So we Inquisition our opponent. Bitter Blossom, Spell Shudder. Bitter Blossom is the choice. Okay, so down to Catacombs, Field of Ruin, pass to our opponent. Or a swamp. We'll play Dreaded Presence though. He plays Spell Shudder at our end step. He swings in for 1. We draw into Vampire Nighthawk. Our opponent does not block, doesn't play anything. We play Vampire Nighthawk and pass it to our opponent's turn. He's going to Cryptic Command. Opponent's going for 1 damage. And I am not going to play Kitesail strictly because he has another Spell Shudder Sprite in hand. The slow march of one death a turn. 1 damage a turn. Oh, there's the Shinobi. So let's... Oh, there's the swamp I wanted. I'm not sure what he's gonna pitch. Oh, pitch Fatal Push. That's a card. There's my swamp. And our opponent is more or less tapped out, so why don't we push our opponent into a uncomfortable spot. He gets rid of Shinobi. I draw 2 cards, and then we pass it to our opponent's turn. There's the Field of Ruin. Black, black. Blow up my Field of Ruin, okay. Kitesail. Oh, he still plays it. Okay, sure. Cyclonic Rift. So let's get rid of that. So we lost Legacy, naming Bitter Blossom. I guess he's scared that I was going to name Spell Shutter Strike. Okay, and one to the graveyard. Pass it to our opponent. I mean, he could theoretically slowly swing in if he really wants. I don't think he would want to. Get rid of our opponent's options. That's funny that he played yet another Spell Shutter Sprite. And we'll blow up one of these guys, I guess. Go to combat. We will get rid of the other one. Our opponent swings in for 1, and he damnations. I think we, at this point, invoke Despair, because it'll do 6 damage to our opponent, and we'll draw 3 cards, and then we pass it to our opponent's turn. So we play one of our Murderous Riders. Actually, I think we Ratchet Bomb, and then we pass it to our opponent's turn. And he wants to return Murderous Rider, so we're going to Defile. So he's essentially bouncing it, gonna bounce Ratchet Bomb. Go for the throat. Neat. Gatekeeper on the kicker, making our opponent sacrifice a card. Hold up for next turn. Oh, he's scared I'm gonna play that again? Okay, sure. 2 damage. Play Murderous Rider. Play Ratchet Bomb. End step, put a card charge counter on it. Attack with all of the creatures. Cyclonic Rift. Return each non-life permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. Well, that's frustrating, but not the end of the world. Play Murderous Rider again. And play Ratchet Bomb again. What I should have done is I should have actually played Gatekeeper and kept up 2 mana for go for the throat. Technically. Rachito Bomb. Attack with everything again. He is going to Fatal Push. So our opponent gets to live another day. Deals 4 damage to any target and 2 damage to you. So he's going to kill our Murderous Rider. Goes on the bottom of our library, and we will cast a second one. Hard casting Shinobi. Put a charge counter on this guy in response. And I think our opponent will scoop as soon as we go for the throat him. Our opponent literally has no cards in hand, this is game. So, we win this one. Ninjas! We win against ninjas. I guess it's fairies, it's like fairy ninjas. Okay, well we won that one, let's go to the next game. We are on the draw, and I can't keep this hand. This is a really bad hand. This one is okay. Plains Aether Vial. So I'm assuming it's white weenies of some sort. Maybe spirits, probably not. Maybe humans, possible. You don't see many of those decks kicking around, or at least I haven't seen them on the anywhere lately. So we'll see. It looks like it's just straight up death and taxes. Which does mean that majority of my stuff like Kitesail are going to be pretty useless. But let's give it a whirl. Let's see what our opponent has in hand. The verdict is there anything in our opponent's hand that we can actually take? Yeah, there's no non-creature spells for me to take. And I can't do anything about Thalia because she has first strike. So I would rather take the 2 damage. And here comes Catmaster. And there goes my swamp. So we too, sir, can race. And we're just gonna cast this guy regular. All vanilla-like. There's Thalia, sure. We take 2. There's my swamp. We play Vampire Nighthawk. So Vampire Nighthawk is annoying for our opponent to deal with. Okay, so he trades off Leonin. So there's Solitude. And he's probably gonna exile my Vampire Nighthawk. Yep. Flicker Wisp. Oh, neat. Oh, that's a fun little combination. I didn't really think of that, but yeah, that makes sense. That's annoying and fun for our opponent. So then he gets to get rid of both of our guys. We're going to cast Gatekeeper with... Okay, so there goes Thalia. We're just going to pass turn because there's literally nothing I can do. Begin combat. I'll attack in. Okay, well, while our opponent has nothing, we are going to go for the throat, killing this thing. Dun 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 dun. Ugh, this race is terrible! So we go to combat now. What is he going to quote-unquote flash in? Aeon, whatever. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Non-basic lands your opponent control enter the battlefield tapped. Okay, so we blow up all of his stuff, because these are both 3. And then we go to our opponent's turn. And now we play who draws the card that wins the game. And there is Stoneforge. So first things first, we get rid of this guy. Second thing second, well, our opponent has nothing. And that means we gain 4 life, we get rid of Stoneforge, and we are both at the let's draw a card to see who wins the game. Funny match. Yeah, Invoke Despair. Deal with it, buddy. So I'm going to draw 3 cards. He's going to take a bunch of damage. That guy's going to go away next turn. So there's our Blast Zone. We go Dreaded Presence. Technically I win the race right now. Okay, my turn. For starters, we go to combat. Second of all, we defile this guy. Should have blasted right off the top. He still gets his Aether Vial trigger, so he's going to put something potentially from his hand into play. Flicker Wisp to flicker that. Yeah, that sucks, but it is okay. It sucks, but it's not the end of the world. I should have done that in a different order. I should have Blast Zoned right off the top to force him to use his Aether Vials, and then depending on what he did, I could have then resolved some other stuff. There goes Blast Zone. Okay, so Kitesail, Giver of Ruins. That's a card. Oh, we can't cast more than 1 spell. Okay. So who's he gonna flicker? He's flickering my guy. Oh, Flicker Wisp was like the best thing he could have drawn. Okay, so I need to draw into something relevant. So we can play Gurmag Angler. Okay. Yes. Block Flicker Wisp. I go to 1. And now I have a handful of cards I can draw that make it so I don't lose the game. Field of Ruin is definitely not one of them. Go to sideboard. Okay, these things come out, these things go in. We'll see how this plays. We cannot keep this. We will go with this because we want to Inquisition our opponent straight away. Well, that's going to be annoying, but not the end of the world. Okay, so we're going to get rid of Aether Vial. Though I think Thalia technically is probably a better option, but we have Bloodchief's Ascension, so we can always, kill her off. And our opponent draws into another Aether Vial. Neat. It means that opponent doesn't have a second land, though, so that's not a bad thing. Ticking Aether Vial up by 1. Did our opponent draw into a land? He did. He drew into a Field of Ruin. In fact. So there comes Thalia. We'll just kill Thalia, pay 3 because it costs 1 more. Oh, 2 I mean, not 3. Sacrificer Envy, whatever this card is, which is impossible for us to deal with. We play this guy, Dreaded Presence, and what is this? And here comes Stoneforge Mystic. If only he didn't draw into more land, or if only he didn't draw into a second Aether Vial. And he put this guy into his hand. Yes, of course you are. There's no way for me to deal with that. Okay, well, let's just do the thing. I don't think I can win this. Play Kitesail. Not going to do anything. So our opponent has Flicker Wisp and Solitude, which means that they can get rid of both our creatures with Flicker Wisp or with Solitude. And Flicker Wisp, yeah, we're literally like a sitting duck here. We're literally dead. Nothing we can do here. Okay, well, let's concede. Well played, well played. Death and Taxes obviously is a hard deck for us to play against.
At this point, if you're still watching the gameplay, why don't you consider subscribing to Giant Monster Games if you haven't already, so you can keep up to date with all of the action.
We are on the draw. It doesn't have great hand disruption, but I think we can keep this hand. Alter. Oh, we're playing combo. I don't have artifact removal in the main deck other than Blast Zone. Could be a combo deck, or it could just be straight mill. I'm assuming it's mill, actually. Now that I think about it, I think it's mill. It's like weird old school mill. I think it's Kitesail, so we can peek at his hand. Codex Shredder would be great, but I think you are better. So whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that permanent's controller mills cards. Theoretically, he could mill himself out as well. So I mill twice. Duress doesn't really help me. Cast and go. What it's gonna be? Okay, attack with all. We're gonna have to do some maths on this at some point, because we need to figure out if casting stuff is worth it versus the race to taking down our opponent. So he's taking my 1 Gurmag Angler, which is fine. So there's a swamp. We cast Gatekeeper, and we attack with just our 1 Gatekeeper, because 1... Sundering Titan is nice that he didn't get that. Return target non-legendary creature from your graveyard to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it. That's neat. So he gets to destroy one of our swamps. So unfortunately we are swamps and so is he, so he, gets to not. Opponent can't cast anything because he's out of cards, so we're going to see how this race plays out. Urza Saga mills us a bunch. Okay, so there's us milling ourselves a bunch, or getting milled a bunch. So I don't know the math on this. 20 cards. Can he mill us 20 cards before we can do 12 damage? That's 3 cards. Each player exiles the top card, so he's bringing us down. Slow game. So he has a 6/6. That's fun. I think we don't attack this turn then. And we cast this. So we blow up his token. And then we see what our opponent does. Opponent mills a whole bunch. No ensnaring bridges yet. I'd assume we'd have seen at least one. Another artifact. Gets another Codex Shredder. That's really bad for us. He can put us down to 1 card in the library. Well, I'll mill and then draw the last card. So actually, we're done. Okay, sideboard time. Okay, we're taking these things out and we're putting these things in. We're gonna see how this goes. And I can keep this. Knight of Dust Shadow is hopefully gonna do us some work in this game as well, because we can dump mana into it to make it bigger. So swinging for more damage. It may be a better win con for us, which is kind of something that this deck is lacking, I'm noticing, is a really strong win condition. Alter the Brood. I think we need to get rid of Mesmatic Orb, because that one really hurts. There is Alter the Brood. Every time he plays a permanent, we mill a card. And he's going to Surgical Inquisition. Okay. And then we go this way. And ship it to our opponent's turn, so this guy is going to be able to hopefully do some work for us. I can theoretically push. Oh, there's another orb. Dang it. That's not what I wanted to see. Did not want to see another orb. So he's played this, he has a Damnation, which is annoying. Swing for 2 to our opponent's face. And then we play the Freebooter. We're going to take Damnation, just because I'd rather him not be able to blow up all my stuff. And then we are going to go to the swing to our opponent's face as fast as we can game. Actually even tempted to Feel the Ruin to blow up his Godless Shrine. He would have, oh, and he has a Codex Shredder as well. Could have drawn into something better. Instead, mill into this. I think we race. I should have played Gatekeeper of Malakir. So he's going to Surgical Dreaded Essence. I would rather keep one of my primary win conditions. So I drew into another Kitesail. Swinging with these 2 guys. Do I play Gatekeeper? No, I think I stay on the current path. Searching his library. No Hunger has Kai on top. Gonna be close. Ratchet Bomb. That is what I want. So what we're doing here is he wants us to mill the top card of our library. And I don't want to exile the top card of my library because I want to draw Ratchet Bomb. So this is going to allow us to exile a card from his library, sure, but it also allows us to draw a card, which draws us Ratchet Bomb, which he should have responded to with sacrificing Lantern, technically, but he didn't. So this is going to hurt us on the milling side. Okay, so we need to play Ratchet Bomb. We then swing in with everything, and we pass it to our opponent's turn. He draws a Codex Shredder. Okay, and we will put a charge counter on this guy. So he's gonna make us mill a bunch. But the problem he has is that 1, I can make this guy a 3/3. 2, I can also pop this and blow up all of his stuff. Except for Mesmatic Orb. Yeah, we mill a bunch. Make this guy a little bit bigger. And we pop our opponent in the face for 4. Okay, go to sideboard. I almost think Invoke Despair is actually worth putting back in, because it does indirect damage. And I think that's it. Alright, cool. Yeah, we're running it back with 63 cards, and I'm okay with that, actually. Playing against a mill deck, having a couple extra cards, maybe not the best options always, but in our exact situation where we just need time, we're gonna go with that. So far, my synopsis of the deck. I enjoy playing it. I think if you're playing it in a more casual environment, you'll find it actually works well. Yes, because we have Knight. I think it needs better win conditions. Our turn. We draw Murderous Rider, which is okay. We will Duress our opponent. Double Damnation. Wow. That is... Our opponent has a hand that is not great. Okay. Sure. Wow. Our opponent has nothing. Our opponent does not have a game plan right now. Play Gatekeeper. As much as I want to play this guy, I know that if he has a Damnation, it's not going to work out well for us. Urza's Saga is an issue, but I have a Field of Ruin. Okay, so he wanted us not to get... we know he has a Damnation, so I don't want to overcommit. So I think we just go in low and slow. Straight away, I'm getting rid of Urza's Saga. And now he has Damnation up and running, so he can Damnation if he wants. Unless, of course, I Duress it. Then it goes away. Oh, except for he drew into another Damnation. Okay, so our opponent literally has nothing. Our opponent is playing the I don't win the game because of what I drew game. That's sad for our opponent, but, you know, sometimes that's the way the game goes. So he played a swamp. I attack with Gatekeeper. I then pretend to overcommit by putting on another creature, which is going to be Murderous Rider. We let him Damnation it because now all of a sudden it's too much, right? So he's going to Damnation. The reason why we did Murderous Rider, by the way, he goes on the bottom of my library. So it technically is just a card that I will have to eventually mill again, rather than playing Dreaded Presence or Dusk Knight. Now, we play Dreaded Presence, which is a 3/3, which is better, and if I draw into swamps and stuff, it will do all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, so we don't know what our opponent has in hand now, but it looks like it's all land. All land. Our opponent is land flooded, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. Go to combat. I'm gonna keep Knight up in my hand just in case he has like another Damnation or something else. And instead, I'm going to play Ratchet Bomb, and I'm also gonna play Pithing Needle, naming Codex Shredder, and then go to our opponent's turn. Sundering Titan. Okay, so he's gonna blow up one of our swamps, which sucks, but he also has to blow up one of his Godless Shrines. I need to draw into a land. Oh, I forgot to put a token on this guy. Cast Down works. So he's going to blow up another land. Let's just do this before I forget. Otherwise, I will forget about it again. And we want it sitting on one. So we're going to play Gurmag Angler. Because why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's our win condition. Our opponent needs to deal with Angler next turn. Mind you, if I draw into a swamp, he's also dead. And our opponent scoops it up. Okay, so we've won 2 games by the skin of our teeth. This one here, he's got land flooded, so...
That's the way the game goes. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them. Anyways, this has been Adrian from Giant Monster Games. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to game like you know what you're doing, and you have, played Magic Online, earlier than 3 years ago.